Picture two people. Same city, same zip code, same neighborhood. Similar rent, similar bills, similar life on the outside. The first person earns $85,000 a year. Nice salary by most American standards. They've got the furniture, the gadgets, the closets full of things. But they check their bank account with a knot in their stomach. 2 missed paychecks and everything falls apart. The second person earns $50,000 a year, almost half, but they have 18 months of expenses saved. They invest every single month without stress. They sleep at night. Now here's the question nobody asks. How? How does someone earning almost half have 10 times the financial security? This isn't about income. It's not about luck. It's not about some side hustle or crypto windfall. It's about a set of money rules that quietly separate people who always have money from people who never do, regardless of what they earn. These rules are not complicated, but most Americans will never follow them because they were never shown how. Today, that changes. Let me paint you a picture. 2 apartments, same building, same city, same monthly rent. You walk into the first one, there's a massive television on the wall, a couch that cost more than most people's monthly salary, a kitchen packed with appliances still in their original boxes, closets so full the doors barely close, and a spare bedroom that became a storage unit somewhere along the way. The person living here earns $85,000 a year, solid income, above the national median. But open their banking app and the anxiety hits immediately. They are 2 missed paychecks away from a genuine crisis. Now walk into the second apartment. It's different the moment you step inside. There's space, a simple couch, a reasonably sized television, a kitchen with only the tools that actually get used, a closet with clothes that actually get worn, and a spare bedroom that is just a bedroom. The person living here earns $50,000. They check their bank account with calm confidence. 18 months of expenses saved. 20% of every paycheck invested. Same neighborhood, nearly half the income, 10 times the financial stability. Now here's what most people get wrong when they hear this story. They assume the first person is irresponsible, reckless, bad with money. They're not. They don't gamble, they don't have expensive habits, they just accumulated a lifestyle that now requires every single dollar they earn just to maintain it. That's the trap, and it's the most expensive trap in America right now. Here's a concept that will permanently change how you think about every purchase you make. Everything you own costs you money twice. The first cost is obvious. It's the price tag, the number on the receipt. The second cost is the one nobody talks about, and it's often larger than the first. The second cost is storage. In most American cities, space costs roughly $30 to $50 per square foot annually. That treadmill taking up 20 square feet in your bedroom, that's potentially $1,000 a year just to store a very expensive clothes hanger. The second cost is maintenance. That boat sitting in the driveway needs winterization, insurance, registration, repairs. Industry standard puts annual maintenance at roughly 10% of the purchase price. A $30,000 boat costs $3,000 a year just to exist in your life, even if it never touches water. The second cost is mental energy. Every single item you own occupies a small slice of your attention. It needs to be cleaned, organized, insured, worried about. Researchers have found that visual clutter actually raises cortisol levels and reduces your brain's ability to focus. Your stuff is stressing you out in ways you can't even consciously feel. And then there's the final second cost, opportunity cost.
That $15,000 sitting in unused home gym equipment could have been $15,000 in index funds, growing quietly into $50,000 or more over 15 years. You didn't just buy a home gym, you bought a home gym instead of future financial freedom. The purchase price is just the entry fee. The real cost never stops. So how do financially intelligent Americans cut through all of this? They start with one simple calculation before every single purchase: cost per use. Here's how it works. Take the total price of the item, divide it by the realistic number of times you'll actually use it. That number is the only honest measure of value. A $200 jacket worn twice costs $100 per wear. A $400 jacket worn 200 times costs $2 per wear. The more expensive jacket is actually cheaper, in every meaningful sense. This calculation destroys impulse purchases immediately. That $300 kitchen gadget you'll realistically use twice a year costs $150 per use. That is an obscenely expensive way to chop vegetables. Meanwhile, a $30 tool you use every single week costs less than 60 cents per use within the first year. The math doesn't care about marketing. It doesn't care about how good the deal looks, or how appealing the packaging is, or what your neighbor just bought. It just tells you the truth. And the truth is, most purchases that feel reasonable in the moment are financially absurd when you do the math. Here's where it gets interesting, though. A $2,000 mattress used every single night for 10 years costs about 55 cents per use. That's extraordinary value. The cost per use framework doesn't punish spending. It punishes mindless spending. There's a difference. And that difference is where wealth is either built or quietly destroyed. Now let's talk about what's already in your home. Because the problem isn't always what you're buying next. Sometimes it's what you're still holding on to. Here's a simple test. Walk through every room in your home, look at each item you own, and ask yourself one honest question. If this disappeared today, would I spend money to replace it? Not would I miss it for a moment, not would it be slightly inconvenient. Would you actually open your wallet and go buy another one? Be brutally honest. Would you replace that fondue set, that bread maker collecting dust since 2019, those clothes hanging in the back of your closet, still carrying the tags from 3 years ago? For most items, the honest answer is no. And that answer reveals something important. These items are not assets, they are liabilities dressed up as possessions. They cost you space, mental energy, and ongoing maintenance without providing any real corresponding value. Every hour spent cleaning around things you don't actually want is an hour stolen from something that actually matters. Minimalists call this negative value inventory, and most American homes are full of it. The process of removing these items feels uncomfortable at first. Then it feels like breathing again. Rooms feel larger, decisions feel simpler, cleaning takes half the time, and here's the quiet financial benefit nobody mentions. When you own less, you buy less, because you finally see how little you actually needed all along. Here's a pattern that silently destroys wealth in households earning 6 figures. They upgrade things that still work. The television has perfect picture quality, but the new model has slightly better contrast ratio. The phone makes calls, runs every app, takes great photos, but the new release came out last month. The car starts every morning without complaint, but the new year model has updated styling. The furniture serves its purpose, but they've grown tired of looking at it. These upgrades feel like progress. They are wealth destruction with better packaging. Here's the financially intelligent rule. Never replace something that still functions properly. Boredom is not a malfunction. Desire for novelty is not a malfunction. The existence of a newer version is not a malfunction. Actual breakdown, genuine inability to perform, that is a malfunction. Everything else is a marketing department solving problems you don't have. Now let's look at the real numbers. The average American replaces their phone every 2 to 3 years, while the previous phone works perfectly fine. Over 30 years, that pattern alone costs between $30,000 and $50,000 in completely unnecessary purchases. Apply that same upgrade mentality across every category: cars, appliances, furniture, electronics, and the lifetime waste quietly exceeds $200,000. $200,000. That's not a rounding error. That's a retirement account. That's financial independence traded in for the feeling of having something new. Most people believe financial discipline is about willpower. It is not. Willpower is a finite resource. It depletes throughout the day. By the time you're tired, stressed, or emotionally drained, willpower is gone. And that's exactly when the impulse purchases happen. Financially intelligent people don't rely on willpower. They engineer their environment so the right choice becomes the automatic choice. Here's what spending friction looks like in practice. Remove your saved credit card numbers from every online retailer. Delete the shopping apps from your phone. Unsubscribe from every promotional email hitting your inbox, and implement one rule that alone eliminates roughly 70% of impulse purchases: the 24-hour wait. Before any non-essential purchase, you wait 24 hours. That's it. Most desires for objects completely dissolve within a single day if you don't act on them immediately. The item doesn't even sound appealing anymore. That's not discipline. That's just time revealing the truth. Now, here's what saving ease looks like. Automatic transfers to your investment accounts on the exact day your paycheck hits. Not after bills, not after groceries. First, keep a small operating amount in your checking account. Make saving happen before you ever see the money. Treat it like a fixed expense, not an afterthought. Because here's the reality. The person who automates good decisions will always outperform the person who relies on making good decisions manually, every single time. This next rule sounds obsessive until you actually try it. Count your possessions. Pick a category, any category, and count every single item you own in that category. Write the number down. Most people guess low and discover they own 3 or 4 times what they estimated. How many shirts do you actually own? How many kitchen gadgets sitting in drawers? How many pairs of shoes? How many items in that junk drawer you haven't opened in months? The count itself changes behavior. Once you know you own 43 shirts, buying another one feels different. You're not adding a shirt, you're bringing your collection to 44. The absurdity becomes visible, and visible absurdity is hard to ignore. Financially intelligent people take this further. They set maximum thresholds for key categories: 30 items of clothing total, 15 books at any given time, a strict one-in, one-out policy. Every new purchase requires removing something existing. That single constraint creates friction that dramatically slows accumulation, because now every purchase is a decision, not just a transaction. But here's the deeper financial benefit. Without intentional limits, possessions expand to fill every available space, and expanded possessions mean expanded maintenance costs, expanded storage costs, expanded mental load. Lifestyle creep doesn't always look like a bigger house or a faster car. Sometimes it looks like a closet you can't close and a bank account that reflects it.
Before you buy anything significant, rent it first. This sounds simple, but it will save you thousands of dollars over the course of your lifetime. Here's the pattern that plays out constantly. Someone gets excited about camping.
They immediately buy the tent, the gear, the boots, the cooler. 3 trips later, the enthusiasm is gone. The equipment lives in the garage for the next 8 years. Minimalists test before they commit. Rent the camping gear for the first 2 trips. Borrow the woodworking tools before building a workshop. Kayak twice before buying a kayak. This reveals whether the interest is genuine or just novelty wearing the costume of passion. Better to discover that distinction while renting than after spending $3,000 on equipment that becomes a garage monument to past enthusiasm. Now here's the concept that connects directly to this: the lifestyle multiplier. Every major purchase quietly triggers an ecosystem of supporting purchases. A boat doesn't just cost the price of the boat. It needs a trailer, a hitch-equipped vehicle, storage fees, insurance, maintenance supplies, safety equipment. A home gym needs flooring, mirrors, ventilation, storage solutions. A pool needs chemicals, cleaning equipment, covers, furniture. The true cost of any major purchase is never just the item itself. It's the entire ecosystem that follows it through the door. Minimalists calculate the full ecosystem cost before making any major financial commitment, because a $5,000 purchase can quietly become a $12,000 lifestyle. Here's the trap that catches high earners more than any other. They never define what enough looks like, so the goalpost keeps moving. Income goes up, lifestyle expands to match it. New lifestyle becomes normal, so they need another raise just to feel progress. People earning $300,000 a year feel just as financially stressed as people earning $80,000 because their expectations expanded alongside their income. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the silent wealth killer of the American middle and upper middle class. The financially intelligent move is to define enough before the money arrives. Decide in advance what kind of home is genuinely sufficient, what level of transportation actually meets your needs, what standard of living constitutes real comfort versus performance of success for other people. Then earn toward that fixed target instead of constantly moving it forward. Here's what that looks like in real numbers. Someone who defines enough at $60,000 of annual spending and then grows their income to $150,000 has $90,000 per year flowing directly toward wealth. Someone earning that same $150,000 but constantly redefining enough upward might save almost nothing. Same income, completely different financial trajectory. The finish line only exists if you draw it yourself. Without it, you are running a race with no end, spending every raise before it hits your account and wondering why the number never feels like enough. Real wealth isn't what you own, it's what you can choose. Can you leave a job that's destroying you? Can you take 6 months off without panic? Can you say no and still be fine? That freedom only exists when there's genuine margin between what you earn and what you spend. Every purchase is a quiet trade, present possession for future optionality. Most of the time, the possession loses. Own your possessions, or your possessions will own you. The math has always favored the first option.